All aboard Night Train. Yes, we are back. Me and Night Train are back with another video. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm back out here at my other little spot again. This is actually a college campus. There's the college over there. It's a little small college, but they built a little nature trail on the campus, and they let the local public get access to it. And it's a nice little place to go walking early in the morning and late in the evening, or really anytime during the day, because there's a lot of shade out here. But anyway, that's not why I made this video. I'm back with another video. I want to talk about some things. I remember I told y'all a couple of videos ago that I was going to make a video on how to deal with the mask wearers and the acquiescers and the conformists. Yes. And I got a few debunking questions also. So we're going to talk about that. It's kind of early afternoon, so I'm probably going to encounter some people out here walking. And so when I do that, I'm going to have to, just make the adjustments for that. But I want to talk to y'all about, yes, the mask wearers, the acquiescers, and the conformists. They are all around you, aren't they? It looks like a whole nother world. And it's because of the acquiescers, the mask wearers, and the conformists. Hold on, let me turn this corner right here, because I don't know who's around this corner. But anyway, where I live in the world, the weather's turning a little cold right now. And so with the cool weather comes colds. With the cool weather comes allergies. With the cooler weather comes flus and every other sickness that comes with winter. And so if you got a narrative of something, of calling something a certain thing, or diagnosing something with a certain thing, this is a good time to do it. Yes, they have a narrative. And so we're going to talk about that today. And see, with it turning cold like this, all these mask wearers that's been toughing it out over the summer, still trying to wear that mask, trying to feel legitimate in wearing that mask, they're really going to feel legitimate now. They're going to feel justified in wearing that mask when it turns cold. You're going to walk past them with that mask on, and they're going to have this look in their eye like, yep, we told you so, we made it. We made it to winter. And so they're going to be wearing that mask proudly because it's winter now. But it's not about the mask so much as it is about conforming to what you heard. And like I said, I don't like to give this too much energy. I don't like to give this too much attention. But sometimes things do require some attention. You have to address. You can't just ignore stuff. You have to address it. And that's all I'm doing in these videos. I'm just addressing the elephant in the room. And so I'm out here today. And so first I want to begin by saying I want to have some debunking. I have some debunking questions. If this quote-unquote virus is real, why aren't animals getting it? Somebody said, well, animals are getting it, but they're not laying around sick everywhere. I mean, animals, look at dogs and cats. Look at dogs and cats and horses and cows and, elephants, which have huge lungs. And they say this thing in the beginning, I know they've changed it a few times, but I remember, don't try to change it up on me. I remember they said this thing attacks your respiratory system. Well, don't all animals have respiratory systems? And you mean out of the thousands of millions of animals in the world, this only attacks humans? What is the physiology? You know, you really almost have to make a reach, seriously reach for effortless. You have to really put forth effort to try to come up with a solution or come up with an excuse why animals ain't getting it. For example, rat poison. If you give rat poison to a rat, it'll kill that rat. If you give rat poison to a cat, it'll kill that cat. If you give rat poison to a dog, it'll kill that dog. If you give rat poison to a human, it'll do the same thing. So it affects, if it's something that affects a body, shouldn't it affect all bodies? Don't give me this physiology and all this other, the physiology of the animal is not the physiology of the human being, but they still have respiratory systems. Right? The other thing, there's been a lot of flooding and a lot of hurricanes and tsunamis and stuff like that, mostly hurricanes, kind of in my area of the world. If this thing is supposed to be airborne, the flooding and the hurricanes, how is this thing able to stand up to all this flooding and all these hurricanes that are in the wind, blowing in the wind? This thing got like a Superman cape on or something? And I remember a virus can't last on the surface no more than a few minutes. But for some reason, they say this one can last for like 10 days or something like that. Really, outside the body for 10 days. You see, all you have to do is incorporate a little common sense and think. You'll figure out that it's all ludicrous. But see, the thing is, some people, well, why? Some people say, well, why would they do this? That's the next question that pops up in people's mind. If it is a lie and it is a hoax, why would they do that? For money? No, it's not for money. Why would they do that? For control? Not really. You remember that movie, A Few Good Men? There's one part in that movie. It's always, a lot of these movies, I do watch movies, and I watch movies with a different eye now. I watch movies because there is symbolism and hidden messages all around you. This whole reality is like a big jigsaw puzzle. Look at that deer. Wow, see that deer right there? He was looking right at me. But anyway, this whole reality is like a big jigsaw puzzle. And the universe, God the All, sends hints to you of what's going on if you open your eyes. And it sends hints to you through movies, through magazines, through billboards, through other people in the background talking. If you got your ears up and your eyes open, you'll see some of this stuff. But in that movie, A Few Good Men, it's about a Marine. There was some Marines that was in court over one of the Marines had died there, and they was trying to figure out what happened. But anyway, they got all the way up to I don't know what the Marine, I guess the head Marine that was there. And he's sitting there in the witness chair, and the other the guy that was questioning him said, "Just tell me the truth." And Jack Nicholson, his character, he said, "You can't handle the truth." But the way he said it, he said, "You can't handle the truth." It's something about the way he said that. Wow, look at this. All the bark has come off this tree. Here's a tree fully got bark on it. Here's a tree that has no bark on it. And that's an example. Here's a tree that's got everything it needs. And then here's a tree that's been stripped down, totally naked. That's what these mass squares and acquiesces are leading up to. Stripping you down of your freedom, stripping you down of your free speech. Do you want to be stripped down like this tree? Or do you want to be how you're supposed to be? See, bark is like the skin on a tree. It protects this tree. Look at it. The bark is all on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this tree, but all the bark almost looks like it's dying. It even has no branches up there. Look at that. But this tree right beside it is in perfect shape. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing two different types of people now. I didn't mean to get off subject just then, but I want to get back on subject. In that movie, he said you can't handle the truth, right? And the way he said, he really emphasized when he says it. He said, you can't handle the truth. And so when I tell you the why they're doing this, many of you are not going to be able to handle the truth. Many of you are not going to be able to believe it. And that's okay. I'm just a man with a camera phone on YouTube. I'm just like a grain of sand on a large, in the desert. I mean, it's probably thousands, not millions of YouTube videos out there. So, I have my handful of subscribers. But anyway, why? Well, let's talk about currency. What is true currency? Money, is that true currency? Control, is that true currency? No. What is true currency? What is true value? What is true value? It's not money. It's not houses and cars. It's not real estate and land. It's not a big corporation. You know what the most valuable thing is? Your soul, your energy, your loosh. And there are fallen ones. For some reason, these are eternal beings. For some reason, that have separated themselves from the light. And so, they have trapped light beings that are still connected or reconnecting to source. And what they do is they feed off your energy. Your light energy that is really your God force that is within you. And so when you start waking up and start taking your God force back, when they put you to sleep, you see they constructed this matrix around us, and they set up some sort of AI system that is designed to drain you, deplete you of your loosh. This is why life, let me put the camera right. This is why life seems so hard. This is why it's so easy to move into a negative emotion. There are interdimensional beings that have constructed a matrix with some sort of AI system in control, and it is designed to drain you of your loosh, of your God force energy, because they do not have that. Now, in the Bible, it calls them the watchers. And that's exactly what they are. Once they get you down here in this matrix, in this box, in this cube, they watch you. They watch to see what you like, what you don't like, what you're capable of, what you're not capable of, what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do. They know everything about you. In fact, they know more about you than you know about yourself. And so they use this against you. And so these beings that have separated us, in a sense, they're in hell because of that. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure exactly what happened. So over time, I don't know how many times this has happened, where they trapped these light beings, or we came here on purpose. I'm not sure about that yet. But then they trapped these light beings inside this matrix, inside this cube, and they put us into some sort of soul sleep, where our soul, our soul goes to sleep, and we're not aware of who we are and our connection to source, God, the universe that is within us. But over many lifetimes and many years, we start to wake up. We start to realize, and we start to see that there is a veil. We start to realize that there is a God within us. There is God within us. There is a universe within us that we can co-create, that we ourselves are a piece of God, a broken out piece of God. Once we start realizing that, they have to take measures to put us back to sleep, put us back in that soul sleep state, so they can continue to use us as energetic, God force energetic batteries for them. I can go deeper and further into this, but this is the real currency. And so they oftentimes recruit people on this earth not knowing what the real currency is. And these are the ones that sell their soul and all this other stuff. And these are the ones that sell their soul for fame and all this other stuff. These are the ones that have infiltrated our governments, infiltrated our entertainment system, entertainment industry. These are the ones that infiltrated the mainstream media. And see, those are the 3 points in pushing this narrative. You see, and the medical industry too. But think about this. You have a narrative, right? The medical industry pushes this narrative, and they're talking about all these cases. They like, it be cases, but it don't be cases. It be people just getting sick, and this test is set up and designed to show positives when it's not. If you don't understand, if you don't know that by now, I don't know where you've been all this time. It's out, the information is out there. You just gotta have a desire to want to find it. The other thing is, the mainstream media is to push the narrative. The other thing is, these politicians and these lawmakers is to create and sign into laws, mandates, to make you come under the narrative and the control to give you or to take away your rights. That's what they want. That's what their job is. And I don't think they completely understand what the true currency is. That is your loosh, your energy, your God force energy that is being used by the interdimensional beings. And these politicians, and these medical people, and these mainstream medias are being used by the interdimensional beings, and they give them a little piece of the pie, give them what they want. And they want control and all this other stuff. So that's my take on it. So as we move, as you are opening your eyes to truth, and you are realizing all of this, and you sitting back and you watching this, and you are watching them slowly, methodically move forward with their agenda. You see them moving forward with their agenda, but you feel helpless to do anything about it. I got some people coming this way off in the distance up there, so I'm gonna get a little quiet when they get close. But you feel helpless to do anything about it. You see them moving forward with their agenda, but you're not helpless. You have a God force energy within you. You have a God force. You are a creator within. In fact, not only are you not helpless, you are more powerful than they are. This is why they want you to go back into this soul sleep. This is why they want you to forget who you are. And like I said, who knows what's in that vac? And so, as you see this taking place, you ask yourself, you see the people walking around with the mask on. You see the people wringing their hands together with sanitizer. Look like flies on a coffee table. You sitting there watching them, you know, do that stuff with their hands. And so you wonder to yourself, what can I do? Well, once you realize who you are, hold on, these people are getting a little bit closer. I'm just gonna let them get past me. Meanwhile, I'm gonna talk about this nature out here. If you look over there, I think it's a family of deers that live in there. There's some thick shrubbery over there. It's real thick. But them deers run through it like it ain't nothing. If you look at a deer, it has a huge body. And so you wonder how in the world they're able to run through the woods. And you know, some people try to go through, like if I was trying to walk through there, it would, you know, be hard to do. So hi, y'all, good morning. Yeah, see it's a little neighborhood over there. So you asking yourself, what can I do? What can I do? This is where collective consciousness comes into play. Your collective consciousness of the light beings. We can't allow them to put us to sleep again. We can't allow them to take away. The only right that I'm really concerned about, I mean rights or freedoms, whatever you want to call it, that I'm really concerned about is my connection to source. I don't want any of my other rights and freedoms to be taken away. But the main one I'm concerned about is my connection to God, my connection to source. And so once we step into our power, and everybody wakes up and realizes who they are, these entities, these beings, this power, this control, this cabal, whatever you want to call it, that's in charge right now will have to dissipate. And they'll have to go somewhere else. I got so much I want to say, I can't even, there's so much coming to my head, I can't even, it's hard for me to get it out. But yes. And so this is the top down, the pyramid that comes down. The farther down the pyramid you go, the less people know what's going on. And so I think I'm gonna go this way. Have I ever went this way? I'm gonna go this way. And so once you realize what's going on, and see these, you got the medical industry, you got mainstream media, and you got these politician lawmakers all working together to push this narrative and to push forward this agenda. And many of you see it. And so if you are in the medical industry and you're being told by your boss or whatever to write something on a death certificate, and you know that wasn't the cause that person, what caused that person, you could be bringing a curse on your family, on not only yourself, because corruption cannot stand. Corruption cannot stand. And so you could really be bringing something bad on your family, on yourself, because you are lying to people. You are sowing bad karma. You are sowing bad karma. If you are in the mainstream media and you're being told to read something off a prompter or told to report something that you know is not accurate, you too could be sowing bad karma to yourself, all the way down to your children and your grandchildren. I mean, don't get mad. I'm just telling you. I'm warning you. If you are a politician and you're being coerced into passing some law, some mandate that you know is ludicrous, you are sowing bad karma to yourself, and it could go all the way down to the 3rd or 4th generations of your family. Do you want to do that to your children? You are in a position of authority. You are in a position of information. So you have an obligation to do what's right. Stop lying on these death certificates. Stop reporting false news. Stop passing over-the-top laws, because in the end, corruption cannot stand. And also, you are sowing bad karma to yourself and to your generations that come after you. Yes. And so, you know, I mean, a lot of people are into superhero movies. I'm kind of into them. So I was into the Black Panther movie. It was a decent movie. It wasn't super great, but it had a lot of good overtones and undertones to it. But a lot of people say the best line in that movie was the last, probably the second to the last scene in that movie, where the villain of the movie says, I can't quote it verbatim, but he said when the slaves were coming on the slave ships, he said some of them would rather jump over the side. Some of them jumped over the side. They'd rather jump over the side than to be a slave. And so we have ancestors that have truth in them. We have ancestors that instinctively want to fight for their freedom. And you have other ancestors that just don't really care about their freedom, or they're not that concerned about it, or they just want to go along and get along. And so this is what you see. We are seeing the ancestors of those people in the past, because there's something in a person, in some people, that just cannot. I often thought to myself, what if I just, be an acquiescer, be a conformist? On one hand, it says, I would think life would be more easier for me. I just put the mask on, just, do what they say, and, take the vac, and just do exactly how they say do everything. One side of me said, oh, well, life would just be much easier if you just give in. But there's something inside of me, like there's something inside of you that just can't do it. That says, no, I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna give up like that. Yes. There's something inside of some people that no matter how hard it is, no matter if they're the only one, no matter if they looked at and stared on and talked about and looked down upon, they just can't give up their sovereignty. They refuse to give up their sovereignty. And I suspect that the people on my channel that come to my videos are like that. It's something within you that says, I just can't give up my sovereignty. So, you know, and the person has to prepare for whatever they got to deal with, because they're not going to give up their sovereignty. They're not going to give up their freedom, especially the sovereignty means that God within you, that right to have God awakened within you. Some people are not going to give that up. Period. And so they passing these mandates. That's the other day I went into a business and I walked in there and I had a feeling before I got up there that this was going to be one of them places where they really enforce the mask. You know, some places enforce it and some places don't really enforce it. They got their notification up there, but they really don't enforce it. But this was one of those places that enforced it. So when I walked in there, they had a table up there with plexiglass all over it. They had hand sanitizer up there. And the lady reached down in the box that was standing and went to hand me a mask. And I stopped. And I said, I have breathing problems, which I do a little bit with my sinuses and my, I'm not really sniffing today, but y'all seen some of my past videos where they're like, man. But anyway, I'm standing there, she reaches down in her box, in the little box to hand me one of those little MK9 mask, whatever they call them. She reaches down to hand me and she reaches over to give it to her. I said, well, I have breathing problems, I can't wear that mask. And so I stood there about a second. I was actually on the phone with somebody at the time. I stood there a second and I just walked out. But the look that she gave me was priceless. And it wasn't a look of anger. It wasn't a look of disgust. It wasn't a look of like down her nose at me. The look she gave me was like almost like she was starstruck, because I don't think she had ever seen anybody that was brave enough to say no. And she just stood there a minute and just looked at me. And as I was walking out of the store, I could feel, it was her and a few other people, I could feel them like just standing there watching me. Like they were starstruck. They had never seen anybody with the courage to say no. I'm not doing it. Whatever it is I gotta deal with for saying no, then I'd rather do that. And you know what? When I took that step out of the store, I had other family members there with me. They had their mask on. I left them in the store. But when I walked out of that store, I felt so empowered. I felt God's presence came upon me. It was something. I felt so empowered within and without, because I didn't give up my sovereignty. I didn't give up my freedom. And that's what I'm talking about. Many people are giving up their sovereignty. I'm gonna walk down here. I'm trying not to get in too much. There's a guy over there walking his dog. I'm trying not to give up. Many people don't give up their sovereignty and their freedoms. And that empowers you more than you think, more than you could ever know. I'm not gonna talk long, it's already been over 30 minutes. So, the real reason for this video is how to deal with the mask wearers, the acquiescers, and the conformers. The ones that walking around and acting like it's real. So, hold on, I got some people in the distance right there. So that's the whole reason for this video. The ladies probably thought I was social distancing. I'm just trying not to, because I'm trying to make this video. But anyway, how do you deal with it? Well, I'm gonna give you one little rule that I go by. one little rule that I go by is I do what's called a 3-second rule. And I don't give anything more than 3 seconds of my energy if it's negative. If it's gonna bring me into a low frequency and vibration, whether I'm looking, listening, or whatever. I never speak anything low vibrational. I never talk about this like it's true. I talk about it like it's a lie, which in my reality it is. But and so I never give anything more than 3 seconds of my energy that is negative. I never give anything more than 3 seconds. So if you see somebody walking around and this matrix will try to put these people right in your presence. They try to put these people right in front of you, walking around with these masks on. This matrix, this AI system-led matrix, the AI powered matrix, put it that way. You'll hear people talking in the background like it's real. You'll see people all in the store walking in front of you. You'll see people, wiping their hands like it's real. But a person with common sense can see what's really going on. The top-down agenda. The further you go up the top, the more ominous it becomes. Yes, and I feel like we are dealing with some sort of interdimensional, outer dimensional being that has fallen. They're basically called fallen ones. And you look at the title to these movies, you can see something in there. Cause remember this movie? It was about the Transformers, but the title of the movie called Revenge of the Fallen. Remember that movie, Revenge of the Fallen? These fallen ones lost something. This is just me talking hypothetically. They lost something and they're trying to get it back. And they're trying to use you to get it back. But see, we're talking about the age of Aquarius. The age where, you got what they call, I can't think of the name of it. It begins with an A. But you got the age of Aquarius. And you got, it's a point in time and period where the truth comes out. And where all secrets will be revealed of what's really going on. I'm gonna walk down through here. It's called Armageddon. Yeah, that's what it is. Armageddon. Armageddon is basically where all of this stuff, the real truth, come out. And why they call it Armageddon, why it's got such a negative tone to it, is because not many people, like I said earlier, are gonna be able to handle the truth of what's really going on. It's gonna be too far-fetched. It's gonna be too much like a movie. It's gonna be too, But the age of Aquarius, you see, the age of truth, where the veil gets lifted, it has to come forth first, where people start seeing what's going on. You got people that are gonna go into this cognitive dissonance, where because they simply can't handle the truth. Like a lot of these people wearing these masks know what's going on. They know it, but they can't handle it. So they rather just go into their cognitive dissonance than face the truth. Yes. So what you're seeing is a lot of cognitive dissonance around you. But you can't let that affect your frequency. So do not focus on them. Focus on you. And if there's anything that's trying to lead you or usher you into a negative frequency, don't give it more than 3 seconds. Yes. Number 2 is focus on yourself. Focus on raising your frequency and your vibration. Focus on being the best version of yourself. and not worry about what's going on, what laws are being passed, what mandates are coming down the line, because God is within you. You see, he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. And if God is in you, he is not giving you the spirit of fear, but of power and a sound mind. So if you're in fear, how can God be in you? Because God does not give fear whatsoever. Yes, I had so many things I want to say, but for some reason I can't remember what it was. You know how when you contemplating something and you say, oh, I'm gonna put that in the video. But then when you go to make the video, for some reason, you can't remember what it was. But I think enough will get said that needs to be said. That's the main point. But anyway, I'm getting ready to end this video. I'm saying I got low battery on here. But so number 2 is focus on yourself. Number 3 also is this. Number 2, focus on yourself. Focus on being the best version of yourself. Number 3 is get up and do something. Do something. Just don't do nothing. Do something. I'm not doing a lot, but I'm making these videos. I'm focusing on myself and not them. So I'm doing something. Staying in the love frequency. Yes. What I mean by do something, you got some people, you got 3 types of people out there when it comes to this. And then what's with the mask wearers wearing the mask around their chin? Everywhere I go, I see about half of the people that got masks on and don't even have it pulled up over their face. They got it down, even the ones in the store. They got it pulled under their nose or down, or they're walking around with it under their chin. And so I'm thinking to myself, either put the mask all the way on or take the mask all the way off. You know, it's a lot of germs and bacteria on your chin, on your face, that you breathe in. And think about the germs and the bacteria, not only breathing in your oxygen, but what about all the germs and bacteria on your face that you breathing in from the mask? Everybody ever thought about that? But you got 3 types of people out here. The one I'm talking ones that know the truth. You got the ones that they know the truth, but they acquiesce. They know the truth, but they conform to the narrative. They know it's a hoax. They know it ain't real, but they conform because they have this go along to get along type mentality. Then you got this other person. They say, no, I gotta go into action. Look at that blue jay right there. Y'all see that blue jay? Look at that little blue jay right there. Anyway, yeah. And you got this other type of person that go into action. They like, no, you're not gonna take my sovereignty. No. Then you got this other type of person. They like on the fence. They don't really believe it, but they're trying to, because they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. I say, well, I know what it is, but I just don't know what to do. That's when you go to the God within, and he will show you what to do. Yes. I gotta end this video because my battery about to go dead. For some reason, I don't know what it is. Every time I record, it drains this battery. I don't know. I guess this camera takes a lot of power out of your battery, but yes. So remember, if God is within you, God has not given you the spirit of fear, but of power and a sound mind. So you have nothing to fear but the actual fear itself. Love yourself. Work on yourself. Focus on yourself. Focus on high vibrational things. Don't give these people, don't give this matrix, these energy vampires, I'm just gonna call it what it is. These energy vampires, your energy, your God force energy that is within you, that is the real currency. It's not money, land, houses, and cars. It's you that they want. It's you. It's you they want. It's not you, but it's what's inside of you. The most valuable thing in the world, your energy, your God force energy. They put you to sleep, then drain your energy. And so, the age of Aquarius, as Armageddon, the truth comes out of what's really going on. Right. What will follow that is the age of Aquarius. It's where the light beings finally reach a place where they can be light beings, where they can be themselves and have God be awakened in them. It was at one point, it was like this, but we were put to sleep, and all of these. So you can say I'm just off the, you can say I'm off a little bit. I don't care. I do not care if you. If you agree, fine. If you get something out of this, fine. But if you're gonna put yourself out here, you can't care about if people like what you said or believe what you said or think what you said is good. You have to make that. You have to come to that conclusion in your mind before you start putting yourself out there. So I got a lot more I want to say. I might even make a part 2 of this. This water looks real stagnant. Ugh, I wouldn't get in that water. That looks almost sewage-like. So don't give any type of negative energy more than 3 seconds of your attention, because where attention goes, energy flows. Secondly, don't focus on them, focus on yourself. Keep love in your heart, because that's what God is. Yes. So I'm finna end this video. I don't went almost 50 minutes, so I think it's a good time to end it. So this is what I want. This is what you need to do to deal with these masqueraders and these acquiescers. Keep God within you, because God, the God within, is more powerful than anything that is in this world. Once you settle that within your heart and mind, the fear will leave. Yes. So I want to thank everybody for coming to my video. I'm finna get on out of here. Probably upload this video in a few minutes. I want to thank everybody, and y'all come back soon. Yes. And y'all be blessed. Yes. And don't allow yourself, do not allow yourself to go into a frequency of fear. And do something. Do something. Do something. Don't be on the fence. Don't be an acquiescer. Do something. Even if it's just sprinkling truth everywhere you go. That's better than doing nothing. Yes. Yes. So I just want to leave y'all with that. Y'all be blessed. And I'll see y'all next time. All right?